Qualifier number 1. It's the best of 3 final between MamasBoys and Kaipi. Both of these teams going through quite a few rounds of teams to get through to this grand final, which will, as was said, be a best of 3 between these two teams. A couple of these teams might be a little bit familiar with each other. So we've got MamasBoys and KP, both of them managing to make it through the entire qualifier. And now they've made it up to this matchup, getting a couple of bands out of the way here. We got the Night Stalker and the Wind Ranger band out. Kaipi seems to be happy with letting the Oracle through, though they might not be as happy about it with the Omni Knight already taken out of the pool. But that also leaves the Invoker in, so we'll see what these teams decide to go for.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's going to be the Invoker taken out by MamasBoys, and they're going to immediately go with the IO. That's something that they like playing a lot. And that'll leave it up to Kaipi to get their next 2 picks out of the way.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Kaipi's taking a long time with this one. They are going to go with the Tiny, kind of a block pick for MamasBoys, as it means that they won't be able to have that old Tiny IO combo. Be interesting to see how that works out for them. Of course, there are a lot of other heroes that can be played with the IO. You don't necessarily need a Tiny to go with it every time.
5 seconds remaining.
And to go with their Tiny, they get their Bane. Bane can do well against the IO. A couple of disables to stop the Wisp from doing its job around the map. It's also going to provide a setup for the Tiny to get off any skills that it would need to get off in a fight, such as the Avalanche or the Toss.
5 seconds remaining.
And Toss is a pretty good skill when you use it the right way, and you can also combo a lot of different heroes with the Tiny Toss. For now, though, MamasBoys are just going to go with the Vengeful Spirit to complement the IO.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
That'll take us to our second banning phase.
Dire team back.
Sitting over here on the east coast of the United States, it is 1:20 in the afternoon. We'll just be sitting here bringing you the final of the European Regional, and then we'll also go over to the Americas Qualifier, and we'll be covering that once it gets started. We might not cover the final over here just because it might be beneficial to go cover the Americas Qualifier. There are a lot of other streams doing this match, so I'm not really too concerned about people not being able to see it or something. But the Americas Qualifier might not have as many people covering it at first, which is why after a match we might go over and see what we can do with that. So we're almost through the banning phase. We have the Darkseer, the Broodmother, and the Dazzle taken out by both teams. And the Batrider will now be banned by Kaipi. Interesting because Bone 7 is usually the player that plays the Batrider, but we've also seen Bambo on it. So it makes sense. Batrider and Io could also be a good combo. Relocate into Lasso can be strong at times. That'll take us into our third set of picks here as we get closer to the end of the draft.
5 seconds remaining.
Right now the draft is kind of going fairly quickly. It is going to be the Queen of Pain picked up by Kaipi, played by Cancel in the last match in the safe lane. We'll see if they decide to put Cancel there again. Also, we'll see if someone else plays the Queen of Pain in this matchup. Cancel had a pretty good match in the last game, although I wouldn't say that KGB were the top tier of players. They were fairly good. They made it all the way through the qualifier to the semifinals, but Kaipi really didn't have too much of a problem with them in the first game, going to 15-0 in terms of kills to start off the game. So I would guess that it really wasn't too much of a big deal for Kaipi in the last matchup. Spirit Breaker is the pickup for MamasBoys. That seems like it's going to be the Bambo hero. That kind of seems like the one that he prefers to go on. Kind of initiating heavy hero that kind of soaks up the damage for Pycat.
Reserve time.
That'll take us to our fourth set of picks for the teams. And Kaipi thinking pretty long about this one. They're going to go into their reserve time, and it is going to be the Lion for them.
Radiant team pick.
So they have a pretty big stun combo with the Bane and the Lion. And they also have a couple of ways that they can deal with that Spirit Breaker. They can put a Nightmare on him, put down the Avalanche, show down the Earth Spikes. Lots of different things that you can do to disrupt that initiation. But the problem is, what do you do after it? Because the rest of the team can come in right after you use your disables on the Spirit Breaker. Which kind of seems to be the way that MamasBoys kind of runs. They like to have Bambo soak up a lot of damage, and then Pycat comes in to take all the kills with the big damage. So we'll see if that's how it works this time. It's going to be Viper picked up.
10 seconds.
Could be played by Hook. Hook is usually the mid laner for MamasBoys.
5 seconds remaining.
At least has been in the matches that I've seen. That'll take us to our last banning phase of the match.
Reserve.
Or the draft, rather. Still have a lot of match to go after this. So we're going to have the Slardar banned out by Kaipi. That's interesting because it would go pretty well with the Tiny. And MamasBoy is going to take out the Timber Saw. Now Kaipi probably looking for an offlaner here, as they already have the Tiny. Will probably be played by Bone 7. Now they're looking for that Kiano offlaner.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
They have a lot of reserve time that they can use here, so they'll go into that a little bit. Gonna take a little bit of time to think about this one. There are quite a few offlaners still in the pool, although many of the good ones have been taken out. Kaipi taking a long time to think about this. They have the Bane and the Lion that can roam around the map quite a bit, and the Tiny should do fine in lane. He has a lot of He has high auto attack damage and is pretty durable. Okay, so they go with the Mirana.
Radiant team pick.
And Mama's Boys picks up the Lone Druid for Pycat. So Kiana picks up the Tiny, and it's going to be Bone 7 on the Mirana. So Bone 7 could still go to the offlane on that. And they also have that Bane Mirana set up. It might not be the best idea for a farming Mirana to like have to worry about a Bane all the time. But and an offlaner could rotate around the map a lot. And it's going to be mad on the Lion. And hook on the Viper. So you got your mid lane Viper, your offlane Spirit Breaker, Lone Druid played by Pycat. And then on the other side you've got Kiana, who could be farming, could be in an aggressive lane. That's also an option.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll just have to see how this ends up turning out as we head right into this match. Let's introduce our teams. We've got Bambo on the Spirit Breaker, Saksa on the Vengeful Spirit, Pycat is playing the Lone Druid, Yapster is going to be on the Wisp. And there's a pause right off the bat as the last character, the Viper, is going to be played by Hook. And then let's introduce our Dire. We've got Cancel on the Queen of Pain, Mad on the Lion, Buffney is going to be playing the Bane, and Bone 7 on the Mirana. And then we've got Keanu. It's going to be handling the Tiny for this match. Alright, so we're just going to have a pause here as we get into this match. And alright, so the Viper has connected and it looks like we're ready to go. In just a moment. Alright, so we already got our teams introduced, so we're going to get right into this match of the best of 3 final in the European Qualifier between MamasBoys and Kaipi. We've got Kaipi already going towards the bottom rune spot, and MamasBoys heading towards top, possibly. Hook already putting the high ground ward out. Gives him some vision of the Dire side there. And Kaipi are going to invade the Radiant jungle. They have a couple of wards that they could place down. Cancel already has the blink skilled. And Mad puts down the observer ward, which is going to get scouted out.
The battle begins.
And it could get dewarded in a moment. The Wisp saving up the money for the bottle, of course. And it's going to be Saksa and Pycat running that off lane. And Yapster is going to be helping out the Viper in the mid lane. Also, there's going to be a Bane. So interesting, we've got Buffney and Bone 7 in the mid lane. That's a double B there. And Mad is going to be alone for now in the off lane. Keanu. Oh, this is going to be a pool, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, Keanu's going to... No? He's going to cut some more trees. Okay, so I guess we'll do it on the next wave. Mad's just going to get some free levels here. Alright, so he pulls the creeps over. And he stacks it. Bear takes a little bit of damage from the Hellbear Smasher. And, okay, so he pulls the creeps over. And he throws it over to the wave to the Lion. And he pulls the wave. No more XP for the Spirit Breaker. And he'll know about it in a second. Lion's just going to sit over there with the creeps. So, great start to the Viper in the mid lane. It's going to be difficult for Bone 7 to do as well as that Viper. And the Spirit Breaker is just sitting over here with the creeps now. It's going to be very difficult to take him out. Okay, Sexy Bambo gets stunned out. He's going to get another Earth Spike into the back. He's not going to be in trouble at all, though. He's got 807 health points, and he's barely getting tickled by that Lion. I do like the global combo that they have with the Wisp and then the Spirit Breaker. You can do a lot with that. So early on, it's the Viper leading the last hits with the Queen of Pain close behind. And a couple of pulls were done to deny the wave. And now Keanu gonna get the minus armor. Earthspike completely misses by Mad. And now Keanu, he's got to run over to the trees. He's trying to use the salve up. He's getting his health back up. And Saksa doesn't have another salve. And then First Blood was in the mid lane. The Tiny finally goes down, and Mad can't do anything. He's going to get bashed. There's minus armor. There's so much damage being done by the Spirit Breaker, but Bambo, he's not going to get him this time. So 2 kills right off the bat for MamasBoys. And cancel. He's taking a lot of damage in the top lane. He also has a Fairy Fire. Going to blink forward. Goes for Pycat. Pycat eats the Fairy Fire. There's a Nightmare onto the bear. They're going for Pycat. But he's got the Wisp coming back and cancel. He's going to go down. Io takes out the Queen of Pain. And now they could go in, but Buffney's going to get away. Alright. The arrow by the Mirana just going to farm a creep. And now Bone 7, he's taking a lot of damage from Hook. Hook's going to back off. And right now it's just going to sit at 3 kills over the map for the Radiant. MamasBoys with a good start here. It is worth noting that one of these teams will be making it into the main event qualifier for the Major. Arrow comes out from Mirana, gonna miss the Wisp. And the Lion's going to find a regeneration rune. Viper misses uphill once on the Bone 7 Mirana, hits the second one. And Bambo takes a little bit of damage. Here comes a stun in the back. Keanu is not going to get the stun off yet. He gets the avalanche now. Sexy Bambo could get thrown up in the air. Mad's going to get stunned in the back. He has another spike in a little bit. And now he's going to turn around and put some damage onto Saksa. Saksa, they got to get out. Here comes the big mean bear. Bear goes underneath the tower. Will they pursue this one? No. The bear gets called back. And there were 2 TPs there to stop the gank. But that just leaves top free to farm. I don't know if you needed 2 TPs in there. Maybe they thought getting kills would be there, but they weren't. However, this Viper has had a pretty good start. He's already working towards a mechanism. And here comes a charge onto Lion. Lion decides to suck on the bear. There's a nice arrow onto Saksa. Saksa gets stunned out. Gonna get thrown up in the air and killed. Meanwhile, here comes cancel on the Queen of Pain. Taking the damage to Pycat. Pycat goes down. And now Yaps are on the Wisp. He's trying to get out. Sexy Bambo trying to get out as well. Bambo about to get out does, but the Wisp not as lucky. The Viper getting close to finishing that buckler, but that is 3 kills on the bottom lane, all going towards KP, and that evens out the kill score and gives them a bit of a gold advantage. There is a charge here coming on the cancel. That probably won't go so well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bone 7 gets the clarity canceled by Hook. Here comes the Nightmare, though. And there's also a TP in from Tiny. Here comes the arrow. Oh, arrow is missed. Arrow isn't used. Okay, arrow doesn't come. And now Keanu. Hook's going right into him. Hook's going on to Keanu. Keanu about to go down. He doesn't. He's in the trees. He jukes him. Mirana takes down the IO on the other side. Now Tiny in the trees trying to hide from Hook. Buffney getting caught out by the creeps. Does Hook die here? He's near the creeps. The Bone 7 gets charged on by the Spirit Breaker. The Viper still getting chased down by the creeps. And he is going to not get hit by the Sonic Wave!
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Cancel absolutely whiffs that Sonic Wave. And now all he has is some creeps to kill. So in the end, it's only a Wisp going down on that mid lane engagement. And Bambo is at level 5 right now. Lion's at level 5, getting charged on by the Spirit Breaker. He is waiting for him. Alright, he tries to TP out. Not going to happen. Now Matt is basically bashed outside the map. He's trying to get out. He's blocked in. And he's running around. He's running around. Does he get out? No, he doesn't. He's going to get bashed in the back by the Spirit Breaker. And that's going to be another kill going the way of MamasBoys. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the net worth and gold graphs. We've got net worth almost 2,000 in favor of MamasBoys, and XP nearly even for both teams. Here comes an arrow. Pycat. Oh man, what a ninja. He just dodges it. And the Viper's almost at the mechanism, even skipping the boots to get to it, which I guess he doesn't need them, even though his move speed is pretty low. Bambo gets to level 6, and this Tiny is a little bit behind now. I do like the matchup of the Wisp against the Bane Mirana combo, as you can just TP the Wisp in there and kind of stop whatever gank is going on. Buffney just kind of sitting here on the mid lane. Hook getting some help from the Wisp. Doesn't matter though. So now on the top lane, Cancel takes out the bear and almost goes down. Doesn't go down though. So Queen of Pain gets a bear kill and doesn't get killed herself. So I would call that a win for her. Even though it was pretty close. Buffney taking some Viper harass, puts the Nightmare onto the Viper. Mirana can't really find the arrow. Here comes the arrow, gonna hit onto Hook. Then there's a TP from the Tiny. Hook is held there for a second, and now here comes the stuns. Toss back to Buffney. Did you just kill Buffney? Here comes the Brain Sap, gonna do some damage to him, and Hook, he's staying alive right now. Buffney about to die. Spirit Breaker ulti not even used. Now the Earth Spike canceling the Bamboo ultimate, and now Yapsor, he's trying to get out. Finger in the back. Helps take the IO down, and that's 3 for 1 on the mid lane. Big advantage going to KP. Let's get the net worth up. I don't know why my hotkey won't work for that. Now Bone 7, fairly low on that mid lane, but Soxa doesn't even have a swap yet, so he's getting close. But he doesn't have it just yet. Meanwhile, Lone Druid's got 1,000 gold in the bank. And we'll see what he's saving up for. Keanu, meanwhile, has gotten to the first level of Grow. And I think that he's going to go for a Blink Dagger. Same with Mad. He's saving up a lot of money on that Lion. Viper has finished up that mechanism, still doesn't have boots. Although he does have that move speed bonus from the IO. Now we've got a smoke in from the Dire. They're going around the backside. Could find someone here. But there are 3 heroes from the Radiant all next to each other. So Mad on the wrong side of this here. The Dire looking for an opening. Cancel is going to get charged on the top lane. We could see a kill here. The arrow misses. And KP just stopped. They're going to not do that arrow. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Cancel getting smacked around by Bambo. Takes a magic missile in the back, and now Bamboo going to finish off that kill on Queen of Pain. Keanu kind of hurting on levels right now.
Is under attack.
And he's got that one level of grow
Is under attack.
to do a little bit more damage.
Is under attack.
Although he does lose some attack speed.
Dire's top
Lone Druid takes out the tier 1 tower on the top lane. You can push pretty fast with that bear. And KP decided they don't want to fight that. They're just going to go to the bottom lane. So Kaipi just going to center on the tier 1 bottom. Meanwhile, the bear free to push on the top lane. Kaipi deciding that they don't want to fight MamasBoys right now.
are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
So the Radiant now leading the net worth chart.
Radiant
And Kiana's going to get charged on the bottom lane. After they take that top tower, they could easily go down and fight them bottom. The Spirit Breaker going to keep charging. He could find the courier. The courier is going to scout him out. He's going to turn around. And the top tier 2 tower went down, as did the bottom tier 1 for the Radiant. And Bone 7 still on that Mirana. Be interesting to see what item he goes for. Now we could have a rotation onto the mid lane. Bambo waiting for the charge. Here comes the charge onto Cancel. Cancel blinking to the south. And the charge is going to get canceled. So the teams continue to kind of fence around each other here. And Viper has finally picked up those brown boots.
Radiant structures.
Bone 7 is going to continue to push on the bottom. Rather, it's going to be canceled there.
Dire's
Bone 7 hooking up with the rest of his team here. And they have to defend the tier 2 mid. Keanu comes in with the stun. Bambo cancels the charge. Tara continues to take damage. And we'll see when KP decide to go in. They use the Mirana ult, and MamasBoys are going to back up. Bone 7 sees Hook. Do you want to go on the Viper, though? Their invis is going to run out soon. They decide to go on Hook. They're putting the damage on him. He's about to go down. In fact, he does. They take him down, but now the rest of the team is left. Bambo comes in with the charge. He turned into a frog. Fiend's Grip still available. It goes onto the Spirit Breaker. He ends up going to the bear. About to fall. And the Saksa trying to do something. Bone 7 taking a lot of damage. Decides to leap away. And now Saksa in trouble. Does go down. So that's 3 heroes down and a bear just hanging out on the ground right there. And only the tiny goes down for KP. So that's a 1,500 gold change or gain for KP as they win that fight. Using the Mirana ult pretty well there. And definitely using their damage the correct way onto that Viper. Cancel goes in onto Yaps, or Yaps are going to get out of here, though. And Cancel's going towards that Yule Scepter. Interesting. It'll definitely help her against anyone trying to TP out, or the Spirit Breaker coming in. So 15 minutes into this game, let's take a quick look at our XP and gold graphs. We've got 1,500 XP in favor of Kaipi, and for gold, we've got 3,000 for MamasBoys. Queen of Pain leaves a little wolf in the camp. He's gonna go find her. Meanwhile, there's a charge here on the Bone 7 who TP's out. Bambo getting forward in his attempts. He has picked up a Hand of Midas. Let's take a look at the other items on our teams here. We had the Yule Scepter finished up on the Queen of Pain, and 2 Blink Daggers for the Tiny and the Lion. Meanwhile, Bone 7 has finished up the Ring of the Quill and the Drums of Endurance. Yapsa really hasn't been using the Wisp teleport too much in this match. It's one of the things that you kind of notice. And Queen of Pain has found a haste rune. Going towards the bottom lane, Soxa could get caught out here. However, this Vengeful Spirit pretty strong. And the Queen of Pain is getting scouted out by that Observer Ward. Here comes the charge on the cancel. Cancel, gonna get charged on. Swap into the kill, means that cancel will go down. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Bone 7 takes a kill onto Io. Here's the Viper Strike onto Bone 7. Bone 7 taking a lot of damage. Keanu taking damage as well. He's trying to TP out Bone 7. He's stuck in the trees. He is going to get out. But Bone 7 does not. And that's 3 dead on the mid. 2 dead on the mid lane. 1 elsewhere. And 1,000 gold change. And now Lion getting bashed up by Sexy Bambo. Bambo helping to take him out. Viper gets a double kill there. And in the end, that is going to be 4 down for KP. As this tier 2 tower about to fall to MamasBoys. Looking pretty good in this match. In this final. And they're getting ever closer to being in the main event qualifier for Shanghai. And MamasBoys, they're going to go over towards that bottom lane. They might want to do that before they go into the Roshan. So they're going to try to take out that tier 1 tower as the creep wave has already pushed up pretty far. Viper just having a casual belt of strength there. And Spirit Breaker about to have a BKB completed. Pycat does have the Sacred Relic, so he's getting even closer to the Radiance. About 1,200 gold away from that. And now Cancel comes in with the smoke. He's pretty far ahead of his team. The rest of his team following close behind. Cancel coming in. The bear looking for someone. Bone 7. He's here. And now Cancel throws the Vengeful Spirit up into the air. Hook. Blocks the hook. Blocks the arrow rather. And now the Wisp teleports forward. Keanu gonna blink right into the middle of that, doing a lot of damage. Sonic Wave takes Yapster almost down, does take him down. Now Keanu, he goes down as well. Pycat gonna get Fiend scripted, getting killed by Bone 7, and they gotta get out of this one. Bone 7 about to get charged on, does get charged on, and Buffney, he gets out. Although the rest of his team not as lucky. That's a 3-for-1 in favor of MamasBoys, and yeah, this match is kind of back and forth. I would say that the Yule Scepter onto the Vengeful Spirit was a little bit premature, and Viper blocking the arrow wasn't really the best thing that Kaipi could have had there. So the Roshan quickly goes down to the heroes. The bear, a pretty good tool for taking him out, and Pycat is going to pick up that Aegis. Cancel trying to do anything he can to push out on the bottom lane, but right now he's a Queen of Pain with just a Yules. Not as effective. And will they find him? Cancel's going to blink out. Oh, they know where he is. They're going to charge on him. Cancel taken out. The charge isn't there for another moment. The swap comes back in. And they know exactly where he is. Alright. Yule Scepter cancels the ultimate. And now they don't have vision of him. He goes into the trees. They're not going to find him. On the other side of that, Bone 7 going to get charged in the mid lane. Charge is going to get canceled. This is Tiny. Not doing pretty well right now. All the net worth spots at the top are filled by the Radiant. Now Kiana's going to get charged. That's just kind of how you play as a Spirit Breaker. You create pressure all around the map, and now Kiana knows that he has to back up. As here comes the Spirit Breaker, going to stun him up, and now the Wisp teleport comes in. Kiana getting pretty low. Magic Missile comes in, kills Keanu, and now maybe they want to go for the Lone Druid. Nope, they're just going to back up. Wisp takes Vengeful Spirit back, and the push continues on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Queen of Pain and the Bone 7 are putting some damage onto that mid tier 1. And MamasBoys easily take care of that tier 1 in the bottom lane, and with the Radiance on the bear, this tier 2 is also not long for this world. So, the tier 2 tower about to go down. Pycat still has that Aegis in his inventory, and the bear's free summon is about is up now, so they can go for this tier 3 push. Kaipi trying to find something on the map. They're trying to get the tier 1 top, but they can just send the bear up there to do damage to the tower. They have to do something about it. They throw a creep at it. The bear gets arrowed. Now Viper up on the high ground. Hook is going to put a couple of attacks, and now here comes the Spirit Breaker. Uses the BKB right on the Mad. Mad goes down. Bone 7 about to go down to the ultimate, does as well. And now Buffney. Buffney gets smacked by a bear. This is chaos. This is not good for KP. KP, they have 2 buybacks. Will they use them? Not just yet. It's the GGWP. They're done. 22 minutes. MamasBoys win this one. Keanu, not much you can do there. He goes down. It's a mega kill streak for Hook. And it's the win for MamasBoys. So they get the first win in this best of 3. And they are one step closer to getting into the main event qualifier for the Shanghai Major. Once again, thanks for watching. I'm Pythian. I'll be coming right back at you with the second match in this best of 3. Until then, as always, cheers.